All right, good day, everyone. So for this morning, let's have another topic in 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. All right, so I have here the objectives. The learners will be able to understand self and or peer assessment and creative adaptation, develop critical analysis on each story used as examples for assessment, conduct self and or peer assessment of the creative adaptation of literary texts, base and rationalize criteria prior to presentation, and follow and observe the rationalized criteria given for creative adaptation. All right. So the topic outlines self-assessment and or peer assessment creative adaptation, reading comprehension analysis, rationalized criteria, self and or peer assessment of the creative adaptation of a literary text. All right. So let's have the activity of guess the movie. Okay, what is the title of the story? Who is the main character? Use the picture as hint. Write your answers on the box. Okay. So this is the story na huhulaan niyo. Okay. Anong title ng story na yan? Okay. And who is the main character? Okay, so Harry Potter, no? Okay, what's the title of the story and who is the main character? This one is Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, this one naman. Okay, that one is Lion King. Okay, another. Okay, this one naman is Beauty and the Beast. Ito naman. Okay, Aladdin. Okay. Self and peer assessment. All our young people should be educated in ways that develop their capability to assess their own learning. Students who have developed their assessment capabilities are able to motivated to access, interpret, and use information from quality assessment in ways that affirm or further their learning. Of course, no? If we know how to assess our own learning in that way, perhaps ina-assess din natin yung capabilities natin. So inalam mo, you know what you're learning, okay, ano yung mga learning na meron ka, and of course, iniisip mo rin how to, for example, paano mo pa ma-share to others, how you're going to motivate others perhaps, okay, na ito ang gagawin, okay, you learn from it. For example, may training kayo na natutunan mo yun, how are you going to share it to other people na matutunan din naman nila somehow from you, no? Okay, so kapag marunong ka mag-assess ng natutunan mo, and that way, you know also your capabilities to do it, and at the same time perhaps to motivate somebody. Okay. Directions for assessment in New Zealand, that it's in 2009. Next, self and peer assessment pa rin. Self and peer assessment is about revision and improvement. Okay. It enables students to independently assess their own and other students' progress with confidence rather than always relying on teachers' judgment. Okay. Kaya nga tinatawag self and peer assessment, no? Okay, enables the students to independently assess their own and other students' progress. Okay, ina-assess mo ang sarili mo, and at the same time, you also help the other students, no? You also assess his or her capabilities. When students self and peer assess, they are actively involved in learning process, and their independence and motivation is improved. Students who can look at their work and judge the degree by which it reflects explicitly stated goals or criteria can assess the quality of their work and revise it accordingly. Okay, so kapag when it comes to, for example, may ginawa ka, okay, natutunan mo paano gumawa ng ganito. For example, nung ginawa mo na, hindi mo na perfect, no? Hindi mo na gawa ng maayos. So, in that way, pwede mo namang i-enhance sa susunod, i-revise sa susunod, no? Those things. So, yun yung ano natin when it comes to assessment. So, next, Dylan William, 2008, learning-oriented students are described as owning their learning resources for one another, assessors of their own and peers' work, being able to assess their own understanding and make improvements. All right. Students' capability, effective self and peer assessment supports students to identify their next learning steps. Students' capability in self and peer assessment is developed through Number one, first, teachers deliberately modeling and scaffolding the skills and processes. Effective self and peer assessment requires exemplars clearly demonstrating what is being learned, clear and specific success criteria on manageable chunks of learning, opportunities for students to identify success in a place for improvement. And lastly, opportunities for students to make improvements independently. Okay, so ito yung goal na, ito yung ginagawa ng mga estudyante, no? Of course, si teacher, tinuturo, okay, biniguide, binibigyan ng skills, okay, tinuturo kung paano gawin. And of course, as a student naman, syempre, anong gagawin dun sa binibigay, 'di ba? Huwag naman sanang sinusubo na, ngungayin mo na lang, lunukin mo na lang. Huwag naman gano'n, 'no? Okay. So dapat ang ginagawa ng student pagkatapos natututo, dapat may careful ano ka, attention, okay, on what is being told or what is being discussed or what is being learned. In that way, nagagamit mo siya, 'no? At nai-improve mo yung sarili mong kakayahan. Okay. Andrade H. N. Volcheva, A. 2008, self-assessment is a process of formative assessment during which students reflect on quality of their work, judge the degree to which it reflects explicitly stated goals or criteria, and revise accordingly. Self-assessment is done on drafts of works in progress in order to inform revision and improvement. Okay. So a suggested process to start self or peer assessment. Student assess against criteria and identify success. Okay. First one, next. Students identify success and where criteria have not been met, teacher may suggest ways to improve it. So, una, syempre, no, students assess against criteria. So, for example, may pinapagawa si teacher na performance task, no? So, nagsiset kami ng criteria how to do it. Okay? And then, of course, anong ginagawa? Nagsasuggest, no? Okay, kung na-meet ang criteria o hindi, nagsasuggest, no? Next, students identify success and a place for improvement and make the improvement independently. So, kapag na-assess na, okay, nag-suggest kung ano yung mga ways to improve it, okay? Areas to improve, no? So, it's still up to the students if gagawin ba o hindi. Okay, in that way, you would improve your individual or your own capabilities, no? Students need to be given strategies for when they haven't met criteria. Some examples are retrace your steps in a process. So kapag hindi natutunan, pwedeng balikan. Check it with a body. So pwedeng ganitong gagawin. Look at the exemplar again. Read it aloud. Find more information or use a dictionary. Creative adaptation is the process of turning a novel or nonfiction text into a stage play. Okay, that's what from the word itself. Creative adaptation, no? Okay, so from a text into a stage play. How to tell the story is very important. So bakit? Key features of the styles are the use of variety of drama, forms, and theatrical devices which tell the story in an engaging way. So, di ba? So, dapat interactive, no? Dapat kapag nagbabasa, okay, nakaka-relate, engaging, no? Especially when you're dealing with kids. Okay, finding the text. Try to avoid using a text that has already been made into a film. Non-fiction makes a really good starting point. Children's stories are excellent to adapt creatively. Look for a good story with plenty of action or events. Drama forms, narrator, direct address, physical theater, split scene, freeze frame, tableau, slow motion, soundscape, dialogue, multi-rolling, acting against type, mass meme, framing device, music, and projections. Okay. Ends my discussion. All right, so that ends my discussion for this morning. I hope that you learned something from this discussion. And thank you for your time. And God bless you all.